My first memories of Jim are when he came into our classroom. He's huge. He was like, even he was only 16 at that. He would have been 16, 17. But he's like, and if you notice, he had a shirt and tie on. Look.
Yeah. And I take one look at him, and I could see him. You know, long, skinny, and but you know, kind of this energy of like,
energy,
you know. And I was thinking, here's, you know, I could see the sense. So this is trouble coming, you know. And he was, but in a really lovely way, you know.
He was just boundless energy, you know, and
a lovely child.
Yes, blonde curly hair.
It was his determination and dedication.
Yes, from a very early age.
I mean, the love the man had.
He had a tremendous presence, hadn't he?
Was fantastic.
He just had a tremendous presence, I think, for everybody, hadn't he?
Yeah.
Nothing was going to beat him, and I think that was one of the outstanding qualities that Jim had, was that nothing was going to beat him. Whatever adversity came his way, he was going to fight that. And I think he showed that in his years through his illness, that his determination and his strength of character, that he wasn't going to lie down.
We're up in the Dublin Mountains, and the scenery is breathtaking. This place will always be a very special place for our family, because this is where Jim really loved to be. It was a place that gave him inspiration.
Yeah, I can claim a bit of help in Jim's unbelievable endurance. After one of the functions in here one night, he asked me, could I leave my house at 11 o'clock in the van? This was back in the 1980s, and there was no mobile phones. He set out from his house at 8:30, and I was meant to set out from my house at 10 o'clock and follow him up the Dublin Mountains and collect them. But I had a bit too much to drink, and I forgot all about it. And he knocked on my door at 1:45 that afternoon, and he was just about to kill me. And so that's how he got his superior endurance, through my help.
It was his size and his determination, and he just urged to get going, you know.
He was just a huge person. He was massive. You know, height-wise, the width of him was phenomenal. Like, he'd fill any doorway going into a room, you know. That's what it was, and that's the way he was as a person.
I have to say, when I heard he was going to Australia, I said, it's an awful loss to Ballymun's and Endless Club and to Dublin.
Jim actually was a trailblazer. I mean, he really was the first of a kind. He left at 18, which was an amazing step for someone so young, to leave Dublin, leave his local environment in Ballymun, and go to play in Australia.
We were very apprehensive. He was only 18 years of age. But Jim knew what he wanted, and he wanted to go.
Australia was just completely the other side of the world. And it was just like, and at 18, he's still only a child, he was only a kid, a young lad.
Yeah.
Coming out, so it was huge just for him to go. But to think, like, the guts he had, and that, you know, just at 18, he was only a child, and off he went to the other side of the world.
So we declare Jim Stynes from the Melbourne Football Club the winner of the 1991 Brownlow Medal.
When we were told that Jim had won the Brownlow Medal, we were over the moon.
I didn't realise how big it was. Because we're in Ireland, I just thought Jim won a Brownlow. We didn't know what it was.
Yeah.
You know? It's only when I went to live in Australia and just find out what a Brownlow Medal is, that's when I was blown away by it. An Irish fella to win a Brownlow Medal.
Irish people who went to Australia and went to Melbourne came back, and very often you hear the same story. They didn't realise until they went to Australia just the kind of esteem in which Jim was held. You get into a taxi in Melbourne, and you could guarantee if the taxi driver recognised with an Irish accent, the next subject of conversation would be Jimmy Stynes, always without fail.
I was in O'Donoghue's and went into the loo, going to the toilet, and this Aussie fella's beside me and he's yapping away, and I said, "Where are you from?" He said, "I'm from Melbourne." I said, "A mate of mine moved out to Melbourne a few years ago." I said, "You might know him." And he says, "Melbourne's a big place." I said, "He's a big bloke." And I said, "Jim Stynes." He goes, "What?" I could be walking down the street and then I could just see Jim's big smile, you know, the big smile, and then my eyes would sort of fill up a bit.
My abiding memory at the moment is that last meeting in my office here in Croke Park. That was special, and that's the Jim Stynes I remember in the best of his health. Good conversation, just having the crack. That was the Jim Stynes I want to remember.
A loyal friend, an honest person, and just integrity, you know.
Weren't we so lucky? Like, weren't we so lucky to be blessed with such a friend?
And the fantastic thing about Jim is looking at not only has he excelled in sport, but the fact that he has reached out beyond that and has done so much for Australian football, but also for his own club, and then beyond that to Australian youth. And I use the word reach out, and I use that word particularly because, again, setting up the Reach Foundation and the legacy that he has left, that will be there for years and years and years to come. And we are very, very proud, extremely proud of him and what he has achieved.
And look at the work he's done.
Yeah.
And I just think, look at all those kids who are going to miss him.
The amount of good he has done is unbelievable.
He has a very special place in our hearts, always will. It's a void in our lives. This is a big void in our lives.
I will.
You know,
I miss him greatly.
He was a big man. He was a big heart. He had a big soul. He had a big spirit. And everything he did and put his hands to, he left a big impression and a big legacy.
Jim was a legend. You just don't meet many people like him in a lifetime. He was a legend.
He was Jim Stynes.